Everyone knows the Titanic hit an iceberg, but almost nobody knows the real reason it became one of history's deadliest disasters. Because the iceberg wasn't the only thing that doomed the ship. A series of small decisions, overconfidence, and terrible timing turned the world's most advanced ocean liner into a floating tragedy. This is the real story of the Titanic. April 10th, 1912. Thousands of people gathered at the port of Southampton, England. Standing before them was the largest moving object ever built by humans, the RMS Titanic. Stretching nearly 900 feet long, it wasn't just a ship, it was a symbol of modern engineering. The Titanic featured luxurious suites, elegant dining rooms, electric elevators, a swimming pool, a gymnasium, and technology unlike anything the world had seen before. For many passengers, stepping aboard felt like stepping into the future. More than 2,200 passengers and crew began the journey toward New York. Among them were millionaires, businessmen, families, and immigrants chasing a better life in America. Everything seemed perfect. The Atlantic was calm, the weather was clear, passengers enjoyed music, fine food, and breathtaking views. Nobody imagined the disaster waiting ahead. On April 14th, wireless operators received multiple warnings from nearby ships. Large icebergs had been spotted directly along Titanic's route. Several warnings reached the bridge. Others were delayed or ignored. Still, the Titanic continued moving at nearly full speed. Why? Because slowing down was uncommon. Captains believed experienced crews could simply steer around any iceberg they encountered. It was a decision that would soon prove fatal. At exactly 11:40 p.m., the lookout spotted something directly ahead. "Iceberg, right ahead!" The warning bell rang. The bridge reacted instantly, hard to starboard, reversed the engines. But a ship the size of Titanic couldn't turn quickly enough. Seconds later, the iceberg scraped along the ship's starboard side. From above, the damage looked surprisingly small. But below the waterline, steel plates had been torn apart. 6 watertight compartments began flooding almost immediately. The ship had only been designed to survive 4 flooded compartments. Now, it was mathematically impossible to save her. Ship designer Thomas Andrews inspected the damage. His conclusion was devastating. Titanic will sink. She had less than 3 hours to live. Yet many passengers didn't believe him. The lights were still on. The band continued playing. The ship barely appeared to be sinking. People laughed. Some even returned to their cabins. They believed the Titanic was too magnificent to fail. Then another horrifying problem became clear. There weren't enough lifeboats, only enough for about half the people on board. At the time, maritime safety regulations were outdated. The law didn't require enough lifeboats for a ship this large. As panic spread, crew members struggled to organize the evacuation. Some lifeboats left nearly half empty. Others filled far too late. Meanwhile, the freezing Atlantic Ocean waited below. Its temperature was just below freezing. Anyone entering the water had only minutes to survive. At 2:20 a.m., just 2 hours and 40 minutes after striking the iceberg, the impossible happened. The bow disappeared beneath the sea. The massive ship broke apart, then vanished into the darkness. More than 1,500 people lost their lives. Around 700 survived. It remains one of the deadliest peacetime maritime disasters in history. But the Titanic changed the world. New international laws required enough lifeboats for every passenger. Radio operators had to remain on duty around the clock. Ice patrols began monitoring dangerous waters in the North Atlantic. the disaster transformed maritime safety forever. Today, the Titanic rests nearly 3,800 meters beneath the surface of the Atlantic Ocean, silent, hidden in darkness. More than a century has passed, yet millions remain fascinated by its story, not because it was the biggest ship ever built, but because it reminds us of something timeless. Technology can be extraordinary, human ambition can be limitless, but nature always has the final word.